Hello, good morning, everyone. Here today to talk about some fantastic partnerships and some fantastic work with some great results. Earlier this year, as everyone knows, CMPD's been heavily focused on reducing violent crime, and with that, property crime as well. And property crime, one of our main drivers this entire year has been auto thefts. With that, the Kia Hyundai Challenge has been a consistent focus on our efforts. And earlier this year, we started to see a trend of high-value auto thefts being occurring at dealerships, apartment complexes, different spots in the city. These thefts sometimes occurred with multiple vehicles stolen at the same time. And as we started to focus in on that a little more, we started to see that there was some trends, and with that, we developed a task force. And so we started an operation in April of this year, and with that, we pulled detectives together from a couple spots in the city to really focus, with a couple sergeants assigned. And then through those collaborative efforts, and I think this is the most exciting part, is you had officers from all over the department, and then you had specific detectives in every division in the entire city involved. This included our CMPD Intel team, driven by them, our real-time crime center, crime scene unit, our analysts, the aviation unit was constantly in the air helping us track some of these stolen cars. And then the strength of this operation really comes from those partnerships, right? That power in partnerships. The Federal Bureau of Investigations, the U.S. Attorney's Office, Mecklenburg County District Attorney Office was embedded in this. We've got Homeland Security, we've got National Information Crime Bureau, and then I think 11 states, up to 50 local and state jurisdictions all involved. So really, as this investigation continued, it opened different doors. And I like to say, we didn't know what was really happening on some of these things. We saw some of the numbers and the increases. And as we peeled the curtain back and took a peek inside, we got a very more clear look of what was occurring. And with that, we were able to kind of coordinate with our federal partners who had active investigations, and it all kind of came together, to have some fantastic results. I'm now going to introduce Lieutenant Warith Muhammad. He is going to go over the specific results of this operation. And as you listen to these numbers, right, the numbers are high. You're going to hear about some really high numbers with firearm seizures and how they're linked to different crimes. It really opens your eyes that it's not auto theft, it's criminal activity that also has a huge impact on our communities from the aspect of the violence used with these firearms that were seized. So I really am excited to see, every single firearm that was seized by this entire task force is one less in a criminal's hand. And you've got officers that on some days did 16-hour days as they processed cars, went back, did search warrants, sometimes multiple search warrants. And with that, that's time away from their homes and their families, dedicated to the community of Charlotte. And we're really proud of them for all this work. And I'm excited to continue to see what kind of results we continue to have and to continue to be committed to reduce that violence. So now let me introduce Lieutenant Warith Muhammad.
Thank you, Cap. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to highlight the great work of our officers taking part in a specially formed operation to identify and arrest key players in a high-end auto theft ring called Operation SCARLET, which stands for Stolen Car and Recovery Law Enforcement Team. CMPD formed this task force in April this year to investigate an upward trend of luxury vehicle thefts from car dealerships, and private residences. CMPD was also recovering high-end motor vehicles in Charlotte that were originally stolen from outside jurisdictions at a much higher rate. The overwhelming majority of these motor vehicles were Dodge Chargers and Challengers, but also included many other luxury models such as Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Range Rover, Cadillac, and BMW. Within 4 months, detectives collaborated with approximately 50 different local agencies spanning across 11 states, as well as several federal agencies. These high-end stolen motor vehicles are believed to be connected in numerous other crimes throughout Charlotte and surrounding counties, to include alleged homicides, vehicle fatalities, drive-by shootings, armed robberies, and other property crimes, many of which are still under investigation. Since April, this collaboration has led to the recovery of 132 stolen motor vehicles with an approximate value of $11.5 million. Most importantly, this relentless work has led to over 500 state felony charges on numerous suspects. Detectives have written more than 70 search warrants and have seized approximately $210,000 in cash, 82 firearms, of which 8 of those were reported stolen, a variety of narcotics, and numerous other illegal items related to the overall investigation. The success of SCARLET is attributed to the collaborative efforts of our internal and external partners. There's still more to be done with this investigation, but CMPD is incredibly proud of the work, the diligence, and the dedication to the officers and detectives and our federal partners to identifying a problem and working tirelessly to solve the problem. The CMPD is committed to continuing this investigation and this collaboration with other jurisdictions and our federal partners until everyone responsible is held accountable for their actions. And at this time, we'll take questions.
Sir, can you mention some of the other the counties or the jurisdictions where you believe these things have happened?
Sure. To name a few, Johnston County, Guilford County, Wake County, Cabarrus County, of course, Mecklenburg County, to name a few.
We see a lot of stuff with the pictures there. How big of a dent does this put in that stuff not being on the street?
It puts a huge dent. As you can see, quite a few firearms. When you think about 82 firearms removed from the city, off the streets, that has a magnificent impact on reducing violent crime in the city.
And as you look at that, right, you've got the Mecklenburg County District Attorney's Office embedded with our federal partners, right? So it's really that dent happens with those big teeth, right? When these indictments or charges come down and people are held accountable. I think it sends a strong message. A strong partnership shows that strong message of, if you want to commit these type of crimes and have impacts on people's lives, there's going to be a time that you'll be held accountable for it. That's where I think we're going to see a huge impact.
And forgive me if you said, did you say how many individuals arrested?
I didn't. There's quite a few. The active investigation, so we don't want to name how many, but there has been a few arrests and many more to come.
Would you say like dozens, or I mean, just kind of an idea of number? I
would say approximately 6.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I think we'll refer you to the U.S. Attorney's release, right, on people that, were seen inside this investigation. And then also, I think it's really easy to say that there's going to be dozens of people criminally charged as this continues to be ongoing.
Is this a crime circle or a number of separate groups or individuals responsible for these?
What we have seen is pockets of small groups, which kind of brings a broader group together, which is a larger group that's committing these crimes, but is a variety of smaller groups that's committing it throughout the city.
And geographically, is it all over Mecklenburg County, or is it particularly one area over the other?
Based on some of the intel from the investigations, primarily the East Coast.
So were they stealing from dealerships in other states and then bringing back here to sell in Charlotte, or how is this working?
Absolutely. I think it would go both ways, stealing from outside Mecklenburg County or Charlotte and bringing it here to sell, as well as stealing from here and shipping it to other states as well.
Can you name some of the dealerships that were victims?
I'm not able to mention any of those today since this is an active, ongoing investigation.
You said dealerships as well as apartment complexes in Charlotte were victims?
Yes, ma'am.
On that note, did you discover anything that victims can do that would make it less likely that this would happen to them?
Yeah, there's a couple things. Some of the common methods that are being used is keys left in the vehicle, window smashes, and then the use of electronic bypasses. So I would say one of the first things we can do is refrain from keeping anything of value as well as the keys from in your car. If you see something, say something. If you notice any 3 or 4 luxury vehicles sitting in a driveway and you know your senses rise that you think something's suspicious, we want to know about that, so definitely call 911. But I would start there.
And I think it's important, right, that we've really spent a lot of time trying to work with partners on how to better secure keys, right? How to come up with different security protocols to avoid these thefts. I think individually, right, we've had several recoveries where people put their own AirTags or their own tracking devices on their own vehicle. And then even if the factory one was disabled or cut off, we were able to follow through and recover the vehicle by using their own tracking methods. I think that's a great tool. And then also, as technology advances, right, you start to see things where, you know, you always see it with credit cards, right, to put your credit card in this sleeve so people can't steal that signal. I think the same thing can occur with cars and your key, right, is that they make those same bags that when you're home, most of the time when you're at home, where do you put your keys at? Most of the time they're right inside the front door on a hanger in a bowl. And we've seen, you know, not really even before this investigation, where people will go walk up to people's doors and try to use electronic equipment to grab that signal to then duplicate and be able to steal a car. So I think that it made me look at myself and say, hey, I need to move stuff away from the front door or put it in one of those signal bags that lock in the signal. But I think anytime you can park in a secure area inside your parking deck, and just really kind of security systems, even if you have your own alarms and stuff, but it's really important to just, you know, pay attention and make sure that you're doing your part by not leaving your spare key, because we've seen many times their key is on their key ring and then they go, oh, but my spare key's in the glove box, right? And so what happens is it gives open access for somebody to get in the car, hit the pedal and hit the button, and then it fires up and they're gone.
Were some of these cases involving that electronic signal?
Maybe not that one specific, but as technology advances, we started to see where people were trying to use electronics to bypass systems, and with that, you know, they were successful in some cases.
I guess other than being luxury cars, what makes these cars so attractive? They're easily turnable, they can kind of sell them quickly, or they're wanted by people that they can resell them to?
I would agree with that 100%. These are luxury vehicles that are cash deals, and they go quick, go easy.
And you mentioned that it's not just the car thefts, but there are other crimes that these are tied to. I mean, how important is it that you guys are able to put a dent in that?
It was huge. I mean, again, this task force was able to connect the dots with a lot of these variety of crimes, as well as work with local jurisdictions and outside agencies to kind of collaborate on these cases and investigations.
So if somebody at home is like, well, I don't have a luxury car, you know, why does it matter to me?
Right.
It does.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Were they going to the car dealerships and trading out key fobs and then coming back and taking the cars after stealing the key fobs and trading them out for fake ones? Was that a part of this?
We've seen a variety of that. One case is where keys are left in the vehicle. The others is when they take the key fobs and they're able to reprogram them and then steal it that way, just drive off the lot with the cars.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. So just in conclusion, as we wrap up, we talk a lot about our efforts here at CMPD in reducing violent crime, and we mean it, that is always a focus, but we want everyone to know that we are putting in the work on the property crime side of things also, and like the captain, the lieutenant were just talking about, we see these as often linked. There's a lot of intersection that happens between those, and this doesn't happen by accident. These results, this doesn't happen on accident. There's considerable effort and collaboration that goes into work like this, and we feel that the results show just that. There's there's a magnitude of this issue that we've discovered, and there's a lot of work that's been done for that. So we appreciate you joining us today. We